In 2006, if someone tried to scam you, they usually sent an email that looked like it was written by a drunk robot. Hello, dear sir. I am Prince from Nigeria. Bad grammar, weird fonts. A suspicious link. It was obvious. By 2016, the scams got smarter. Fake Amazon calls, fake ears agents, crypto pump groups, Instagram gurus posing beside rented Lamborghinis. Still, most people believed they could spot them. But in 2026, a mother in Arizona picks up a phone call. On the other end, she hears her daughter crying, "Mom, please help me." The voice is perfect. The breathing sounds real. The panic sounds real. Because it is her daughter's voice. Except it isn't. It was cloned by AI in under 30 seconds, and by the time she realizes what happened, the money is already gone. That's the uncomfortable truth about 2026. Scams are no longer designed to trick stupid people. They're designed to trick normal human beings. And for the first time in modern history, technology is becoming better at impersonating reality than humans are at detecting lies. The internet used to have one simple rule: don't trust strangers. Now the problem is much worse. Because in 2026, the stranger can look exactly like someone you trust. And that changes everything. Not just for consumers, not just for banks, but for the entire idea of trust itself. Because when voices can be cloned, when faces can be generated, when video calls can be faked, when AI can imitate personality better than humans, then proof stops meaning proof. And most people still have no idea how close we are to that reality. The scary part isn't that AI scams exist. The scary part is how cheap they've become. A few years ago, pulling off sophisticated fraud required teams of hackers, expensive software, and technical expertise. Now, a teenager with a laptop and a Discord account can generate a fake human being in minutes. That's the shift nobody was prepared for. Scamming used to scale slowly. Now it scales infinitely. And the economics behind it are terrifying. Because scammers discovered something Silicon Valley has known for years: if software can automate something, it explodes in scale. Uber scaled taxis. Netflix scaled entertainment. Amazon scaled shopping. AI is scaling deception at global scale. And unlike previous technological revolutions, this one directly attacks human psychology. Because humans are built on trust shortcuts. Your brain constantly makes tiny assumptions to survive daily life. You trust familiar voices, you trust eye contact, you trust facial expressions, you trust urgency, you trust authority. For thousands of years, those instincts worked reasonably well. AI is now weaponizing every single one of them. Take voice cloning. A few seconds of audio is enough to replicate someone's speech patterns, tone, breathing, pauses, and emotional rhythm. And most people unknowingly upload those voice samples every single day. TikTok videos, Instagram stories, podcasts, voice notes, YouTube clips. Humanity accidentally built the largest voice database in history, then handed it to artificial intelligence. And criminals noticed immediately. One of the fastest growing scams right now is the family emergency scam. The formula is brutally simple: clone someone's voice, create panic, demand immediate action. The victim doesn't think logically because fear disables analysis. That's the trick. Scammers don't defeat intelligence, they bypass it. And panic is the perfect bypass. Especially when the voice sounds exactly like your child. But voice scams are only the beginning. Because in 2026, the real battlefield is identity itself. For most of internet history, seeing meant believing. A video was evidence, a photo was proof, a live call felt trustworthy. Now all three can be fabricated. Deepfake technology used to look horrifyingly fake: unnatural blinking, melted faces, robotic movements. Not anymore. Today, AI-generated humans can hold conversations, maintain eye contact, react emotionally, and imitate real people with disturbing accuracy. And the dangerous part is not the technology itself, it's the timing. Because society hasn't psychologically adapted yet. Human brains still operate on old assumptions in a new environment, which creates the perfect window for exploitation. That's why fake job interview scams are exploding right now. A company posts a remote position. Candidates join Zoom calls. Everything looks normal. Except the recruiter doesn't exist. Sometimes the company itself doesn't exist. The goal isn't hiring, it's data theft, identity collection, banking information, laptop access. And because remote work normalized digital interaction, people lowered their defenses. The internet became professional looking. And humans confuse professionalism with legitimacy all the time. That's why scammers obsess over appearance. The clean website, the corporate logo, the fake LinkedIn employees, the polished emails. Modern scams don't look shady anymore, they look corporate. Ironically, the internet trained people to trust aesthetics more than reality. And social media made the problem even worse, because social platforms quietly destroyed the line between authentic and performative behavior years ago. Influencers rent lifestyles. Brands manufacture relatability. Algorithms reward emotional manipulation. AI simply industrialized the process. Now fake influencers are appearing with millions of followers. AI-generated models are earning sponsorship deals. Some audiences don't even realize the person they're watching isn't real. And that opens the door to an entirely new category of fraud. One of the strangest scams emerging right now involves AI companions. Lonely users form emotional relationships with AI chatbots pretending to be romantic partners. At first, it feels harmless, almost comforting. Then, slowly, the manipulation begins. Investment opportunities. Emergency financial requests. Crypto recommendations. Emotional dependency. It sounds absurd until you understand the business model behind modern fraud. The goal is no longer stealing quickly. The goal is maximizing lifetime extraction. Just like legitimate tech companies optimize customer retention, modern scammers optimize emotional retention. That's the evolution happening beneath the surface. Scams are becoming less transactional and more psychological, less about hacking devices, more about hacking humans. And financially, the incentives are massive. Cybercrime is becoming one of the largest underground industries on Earth. Because unlike traditional crime, digital fraud scales globally with very little risk. A scammer in one country can target thousands of victims across the world while sitting in a bedroom. And AI dramatically reduces the labor cost. That changes the economics completely. Before AI, running scams required effort. Now AI can automate persuasion itself. But there's another layer to this story most people miss. The financial system itself depends entirely on trust. Banks work because people trust balances. Markets work because investors trust information. Businesses work because contracts are believable. Modern economies are basically giant trust machines. So what happens when trust becomes unreliable? That's the real question underneath all of this. Because AI scams don't just threaten individuals, they threaten verification itself. Imagine financial markets reacting to fake CEO announcements, fake government statements, synthetic crises. The scary part isn't whether this will happen. It already has. We're just still early. Historically, every major technological revolution created new forms of fraud. The industrial era created financial scams. The telephone created phone fraud, the internet created phishing. AI is creating synthetic reality scams, which may be the most dangerous category yet, because humans fundamentally rely on perception to determine truth. And perception is now programmable. That changes civilization more than most people realize. For centuries, humans evolved around a simple assumption: seeing is believing. But in 2026, that assumption may finally be dead, and nobody really knows what replaces it next.